Netflix, the red logo, the startup that killed Blockbuster, the company that turned binge-watching into a cultural phenomenon. For over a decade, it's been the streaming giant everyone else chased. But here's the twist. Today, cracks are beginning to show. Growth is slowing, profits are under pressure, and competitors are circling like sharks. Investors are nervous, subscribers are restless. So, is Netflix collapsing? Or is this just another growing pain for a company that's already reinvented itself twice? Let's dig in, because the truth is way more complicated than headlines suggest. Part 1. How Netflix took over the world. To understand Netflix's struggles, you have to rewind. In 1997, Netflix was just a DVD rental service mailing discs to people's homes. A clever model, no late fees, unlimited rentals. But then came the big pivot, streaming. By the early 2000s, Netflix was unstoppable. People cut the cable cord in droves. Binge-watching became a cultural ritual. Shows like House of Cards, Stranger Things, Orange is the New Black, Netflix originals that defined an era. For years, growth felt endless. Millions of new subscribers every quarter. By 2020, Netflix was worth more than Disney. Think about that. A scrappy startup beating the king of Hollywood. But growth stories don't last forever, and that's where Netflix's problems begin. Part 2. The subscriber wall. Here's something subtle most people missed. Netflix quietly announced it will no longer report subscriber numbers every quarter. That might sound boring, but it's actually huge. Why? Because subscriber growth is slowing. For a decade, Netflix bragged about its numbers. 200 million, 220 million, 250 million. But now, they'd rather shift focus to engagement and revenue. Translation: the easy growth days are over. The password-sharing crackdown gave Netflix a short-term bump. Millions of freeloaders were converted into paying customers. But here's the problem. Ads make the experience worse. Binge-watching is Netflix's entire identity. Interrupts break that magic. And some shows are restricted to ad-free tiers anyway. It's the worst of both worlds. Paying, but still watching ads. Part 4. The content dilemma. Netflix spends more on content than almost anyone in the world. In 2023, over $17 billion. That's more than some Hollywood studios combined. And yet, complaints about Netflix content are everywhere. The truth is simple. When you make this much content, a lot of it will flop. Big-budget bets like The Witcher lose their stars. Sequels underperform. Shows get cancelled mid-storyline. Fans get frustrated. And meanwhile, Netflix is losing licensed content. Without those comfort shows, Netflix has to carry everything on its originals, which is risky because originals cost a fortune and don't always land. Part 5. Competition. Death by 1,000 cuts. Here's the real killer. Competition. Disney+, Apple TV+, Amazon Prime, Maximum, Paramount+, Hulu, even YouTube. Everyone is fighting for your screen time. Disney has Marvel and Star Wars. HBO has Game of Thrones and prestige drama. Apple throws billions at award-winning shows. Amazon bundles Prime Video basically for free. Netflix? It's no longer the only game in town. Netflix at $16, Disney Plus at $8, Apple at $6. You start to wonder, do I really need them all? For many households, Netflix is the one they cut. Part 6. The economic squeeze. And we can't ignore the bigger picture. Inflation is hitting hard. Rent, groceries, gas, everything costs more. When money is tight, streaming subscriptions are the first to go. They're luxuries. Part 8. Can Netflix survive? So is this the end of Netflix? Probably not, but survival requires reinvention. Again, here's what they're trying. Ads and cheaper tiers to capture lower-income users. Sports and live events to bring in must-see moments. Global content, betting big on shows from Korea, India, and Latin America. Squid Game proved this can work. AI for recommendations, cutting waste, and maybe even generating content. The question is whether these bets are enough. Closing reflection. The rise and fall? Netflix isn't collapsing overnight, but its aura of invincibility is gone. The company that killed Blockbuster now faces its own battle against irrelevance. Not tomorrow, not next year, but if it can't keep subscribers loyal, if it can't keep costs under control, if it can't prove it's worth the price, then slowly, quietly, Netflix will fade. And maybe that's the irony. The company that taught us to binge watch might one day be remembered as just another show that peaked too early. Because in the streaming wars, nothing lasts forever.